In this July 20th, 2023 episode of 3 Tobacco, I'm going to take you through a very clean looking gutted bungalow in Mimico with an offer date that for financing reasons as a buyer, you will want to be very careful submitting an offer on, and I'll explain to you why. A recently built, skinny, detached 2-story home smack dab in the center of Long Branch that for all its modern and new features is maybe just a little bit too central. And a large bungalow on a large lot in the Princess Anne Manor neighborhood listed at $1.6 million with an offer date that will be a window into the pocket that has some of the widest lots in Etobicoke. If this is your first time watching, my name is Jonathan Lee and I'm an Etobicoke real estate specialist. 3 Tobacco is a video series that I run weekly where I analyze 3 different Etobicoke properties at 3 different price points. If you're interested in learning more about any of these properties, or you would like to chat about real estate, you can schedule a call with me through Calendly by clicking on the link below in the description at your convenience. Now, let's get into these homes. So at the low level price range, we have 22 Alexander listed by Remax Premier at $990,000. with an offer date today, the day of filming, July 19th. Their offer instructions are requesting a 48-hour irrevocable, so there is a chance this property is sold by the time I release this video. This home is located in East Mimico, close to Humber Bay, and it was originally a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom bungalow, but has since been gutted and is partway through a renovation, opening up all the exterior walls and re-insulating them with new plumbing rough-ins, and it looks like all new electrical installed. So I'll take you through and show you the pics. Here's a property from the front. Here you can see all the walls have been ripped off. They have new spray foam installed. Looks like new electrical here, outlets, switches. So here you can see a lot of the mechanicals are exposed. You can see here they got new ABS plumbing, rough-ins going through the walls. Here as well, which is most likely going to be where the new bathroom goes in. They got a little lounger chair here, it looks like, to maybe rest. You know, and I was really struck by the cleanliness of this gut and how, even though the home is maybe only 30% through the renovation, how clean the job site is. Looking into the history of this property, it is owned by the same owner since about 2003, which had me sort of curious as to why they were selling now. Sometimes I'll see houses being sold mid-construction because the owners run out of money. I don't know if that's necessarily the current case. I have a feeling the owner was maybe doing the job themselves and they were just taking a long time to do the work. And maybe they're just tired of doing it. You know, I can see it like a lot of this extra lumber here is all organized on the walls. They got their workbench here all organized. Everything is very clean. I mean, could have been done just for the sake of selling the property. What's also kind of interesting is you kind of go upstairs and there's obviously no kitchen, but there is this microwave right here, which I thought was kind of notable. Usually on construction sites, I just see guys bring in their own lunches and the thermos, or maybe they buy takeout, but clearly here someone is heating up their food and they had the foresight to put that microwave there. Overall, you know, I think the house looks pretty solid. I mean, they framed out and insulated the walls in the basement as well. The basement looks like it's about 7.5 feet or so to the ceiling here, and I'm measuring that dishwasher is about 3 feet high, you know, and this looks like to the ceiling here, maybe 2.5 dishwashers to the ceiling. The 2 bedrooms there to the back. That's a side entrance there. The electrical all looks pretty clean. It's all in straight lines, not kind of zigzagging all over the place. Installed a new electrical panel. Again, clean lines here. And they've placed the furnace in a position so that it's very efficiently located kind of right in the corner of a house. Seeing a house gutted, you can really go through with a proper building inspector and fix any deficiencies in the home that it has, because literally every mechanical or structural component is visible. So that's kind of the nice thing about seeing a home that's gutted. It's also one of the reasons why I kind of don't mind unfinished basements in homes. And I could actually see someone perhaps with like a $1.2 million budget or so look at this home and think, if I could buy this for maybe $1 million or a little bit less than that and drop $150,000 to $200,000 or so to customize this house, it would be stunning and I would get exactly what I want. And it's also in a pretty decent neighborhood, I think. Very walkable to the lake. And that's probably what I would have thought myself before I got into real estate. But with my years of experience, kind of knowing how things play out, it's not as simple and as clear cut as that. The financing rules can really mess things up. And I floated this around on social media and on YouTube, but as a prospective buyer, the banks won't mortgage this property under a standard residential mortgage. A residential mortgage requires that the home is livable, and they deem livable as having a kitchen with a sink and a properly running bathroom. I guess it sort of has a bathroom. I saw in the pictures there was a laundry tub and a toilet here. I don't know if that quite qualifies, but I'm guessing there are likely a number of other criteria that also needs to be fulfilled, like having almost all the walls covered in drywall and perhaps the doorways needing doors. But any offer that is placed on this property that doesn't have a proper financing condition is a pretty serious risk right now with interest rates being so high. If you ever put a firm offer on a property, you need to know that an offer to buy is not just an offer that is thrown out there, kind of like you might do with a used car, but is actually a legally binding contract that, if accepted, requires you to execute as per the deal. So a firm deal that is struggling to get mortgage financing still has to close, which would require the buyer to potentially go through alternative lending avenues, which might have insanely high mortgage rates right now, as you can guess. So these obviously aren't with the major banks. These are potentially with C lenders or private mortgages that probably have rates around like 15, maybe 20%. So it's like buying a house on a credit card. So anyone interested in a construction project that's kind of never been through something like this, just make sure you either have enough cash to complete the job or have checked in with your financier, with your bank, with whoever you're going to get your mortgage with, and are aware how to qualify and what construction loan rates are today. So that's 22 Alexander Street. At the mid-level price point, I have 42 Exmoor Drive, listed by PSR Brokerage. This is a 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 2-story home built in 2017. It has about 2,600 square feet of living space, including the basement. So it's a nice size home, and it's listed at $1.5 million, taking offers anytime. If you've ever driven past Long Branch GO Station or Browns Line, there's a good chance you've seen Exmoor Drive. Exmoor Drive is located between Lakeshore Boulevard West here and the GO lines here. And to access the street, you actually have to drive into Long Branch GO Station, go past the station here, and then you're on Exmoor. It's a dead-end street here, as you can see. It's got this little Ansel Avenue that doesn't really connect to anywhere. And if you actually just kind of go right in here, you have this little roundabout and this little small park with a small playground. It's almost like a private playground, if you can kind of imagine that. Immediately to the front of the house, you have a retaining wall here, streetcar lines, which makes up the Long Branch Loop here, and then, of course, Lakeshore Boulevard West. And immediately to the rear of the house, you have the GO train lines for the Lakeshore GO West. And of course, Via Rail also passes through here as well, on its way to Union Station. Now, let's quickly go through the pictures of the house. Here it is from the front. Location with respect to Marie Curtis Park. So here we are through the front door. This is the kitchen, living room, kind of standard finishes, standard style construction. Looks like it's about 10 feet or so here, at least in the kitchen sort of living area. I think this family room area is looks like it's less than that, since obviously you're climbing stairs. Here's the bathroom. It's got that sort of standard open concept feel and vibe to it, of course, which is what most people are looking for in a modern home. I don't see much in terms of kind of super high-end luxury finishes here, which probably would have been overkill on an investment for the builder, because I think the property would have probably had a bit of difficulty recouping some of its costs, but it looks like a nice little home. A backyard here looks pretty tight, looks pretty small. Not really a yard, actually. It looks like it's just got the deck and the hot tub. So you're kind of right up against the train tracks here with the house. Upstairs, got your primary bedroom, it looks like, with your ensuite, and then past the ensuite you have your change room with the other bedroom. Okay, so it looks like the change room was actually made up as this is the third bedroom. This is the second bedroom, I suppose, and then that other bedroom there is a third bedroom. So this second bedroom was actually converted to be a change room. Interesting. And down here we are in the lower level. You got like your theater room, and then your bathroom down here, and laundry. Okay, that's the house. So if we were to look at the map again, aside from, you know, obviously exposure to traffic and the train lines at the rear of the house, you can't really get more central in terms of walkability than this property, than being on Exmoor Drive. Like, if you need to get downtown, obviously you can drive up, you can just go up Brown's Line, which gives you pretty quick access to the Gardner there. But of course, the easiest way to get downtown is to just walk 2 minutes out the door, go out to Long Branch GO Station, which goes every 30 minutes during regular times, or every 15 minutes or so during rush hour. So super easy, super quick. Don't even need to drive to the station to do that. You're about 3 minutes away from Marie Curtis Park, which in my opinion is one of the prettiest parks in Etobicoke. Probably top 3, I'd say. Really nice. You got this channel here that you can walk along. You get all sorts of birds, ducks that come through here. This little beach area, and as well, you got this really cool running trail that peaks into Mississauga that you can kind of run back. You're also a pretty short 5-minute walk away to No Frills, the LCBO. And of course, you got all these restaurants and shops along Lakeshore, which you have very quick, easy access to, just right outside your front door. So from a location perspective, there's, of course, with the train lines, the TTC lines out front, kind of some things that you don't really like about the property, maybe even really dislike about the property. But there's also a lot of things to kind of love about this property and this location. And Exmoor Drive as a street, it's very interesting because by most real estate valuations, this street is not a high value premium street and shouldn't have garnered much investment. Yet there are 5 newer builds on this strip of maybe only 10, 15 homes or so, which speaks more to the fact that the older homes on the street have low enough land values that the builders sort of justified the build. Because a builder could have just bought, built, and sold at a price that was comparable to what older resale homes in interior streets would sell for, therefore attracting a buyer, and still have made enough of a profit to justify the job. And I think that's kind of interesting. But what about on the resale? Like when the first buyer of the new home wants to move, will they benefit from as much lift in the market? See, homeownership is very much a dream to most people, and buying a house is the realization of that dream coming true. But few people will dream about hearing the GO train every 30 minutes in their backyard. So the eventual second buyer of this home will have to very heavily weigh if the conveniences and features of this newer built home are worth the negatives of its exact location. And at $1.5 million, I certainly would question that very strongly. But what about $1.4 million? Certainly at $1.3 million, where you're comparing this newer built home to an old original bungalow, it would be worth it, wouldn't it? And another exercise and approach that you could take is attempting to separate the value of the build from the land. So to build a house all in costs between $300 to $400 per square foot finished. And I know that's a very wide spread, but a lot of the costs depend on the size of the project, the quality of the finishes, and the connections of the contractor, and how he can get his tradespeople to work for a bit less money. So let's assume that it costs, let's say, $350 per square foot for this home in today's dollars, not when it was built, because obviously, that changes with time. At 2,600 square feet, the home rebuilt would be about $910,000. So is this shallow lot of 25 by 92 feet, because that's what it is, worth about $600,000? And I feel that's a bit much personally. And say Mimico, a 25 foot by 120 foot lot would be around $750,000 or so. But at the end of the day, the market will determine the property's value. And so we'll see what happens. The last property that we have at the high price range is 459 The Kingsway, which is listed at $1.6 million by Sutton Group Admiral Realty with an offer date of July 20th. It's located in the Princess Anne Manor neighborhood, not in the Kingsway. The Kingsway as a street runs through about 3 different neighborhoods, but this property is very much in a premium neighborhood. So here's where it's located. Princess Anne Manor / Thorncrest Village, I say, is roughly between Eglinton and Rathburn to the north and south, and Kipling and Islington to the east and west. Here's the Kingsway running through Princess Anne Manor, through a section of Humber Valley before, of course, going into the Kingsway itself. If you don't look at a lot of homes, you might look at this bungalow from the front and think, what's so premium about it? It's just a regular bungalow. Well, the home was built in 1957 and has a double car garage here and a double front door. Most homes from the 50s, even in rural areas of York region, only had a single car garage and a single front door. So if that isn't very grand to you, this home also has an 80-foot frontage, which is typical for Princess Anne Manor, and is also a supersized frontage lot for Etobicoke. Most other homes in Etobicoke are on frontages under 50 feet, between 25 and 40, and 50 feet is considered a wide lot. So you don't see it from the front photo here, but the size of this property is there for sure. Now, these are big homes in the neighborhood. The standard Etobicoke bungalow is anywhere between 1,000 and 1,300 square foot above ground, with another 1,000 to 1,300 square feet in the basement. These original homes in Princess Anne Manor are about 2,000 square feet above ground, with another 2,000 square feet in the basement. And other than having a family room instead of just a living room, as you might see in most other bungalows in Etobicoke, that extra 17 to 1,000 square feet or so is spread out across the entire house. So every room feels more open and spacious. Now let's go through some more of the pics. Here's the front of the home from different angles to give you a better sense of the size. The double front door does feel pretty grand, and as you walk in, you see you're welcomed by this very spacious foyer. Immediately to your right, you have your living room with a fireplace. Certainly pretty spacious. Your dining room just to the rear of that. And then your kitchen. And off the kitchen, they got this extension here, this sort of sunroom space area. And the kitchen looks like it's been updated in the past 5 years or so. In the backyard, you can see they got this pool as well. Pretty nice large bathroom here. Very spacious. One of the bedrooms. Second bedroom. And then here, you got this primary bedroom. Pretty huge for a 50s era home. It's got a walk-in closet here and your 3-piece bathroom here. Down to the basement. Fireplace. Bar. Another bathroom, laundry, and another basement storage area. Kind of nothing to really write home about. And this is more towards the rear of the house. You got this really nice, large looking concrete pool. So again, the home is a little bit dated. You can kind of tell this pool doesn't look super clean. Could probably benefit from whatever conditioning you do to a pool that looks like it's 20, 30 years old. The interior, I think, could use a bit of a facelift as well. But otherwise, this is a very big home. So the floor price in Princess Anne Manor is roughly between 1.7 to 1.9 million or so, and it's hard to find a home at that price. If you do, it's mostly a dated or original home, so I do expect this home not being completely original, but still a little bit dated, still a little bit tired, to sell for above list price. The top end of homes here, as you can imagine, large lots, some very luxurious rebuilds, tends to extend north of $5 million. And due to the size of all the properties in the neighborhood, this is one of the most expensive pockets in Etobicoke. If you drive through the neighborhoods, all the properties are very well kept. And the size of the lots actually makes for some pretty good neighbors because everyone can keep to themselves quite easily. But don't be mistaken by the simplicity of some of these homes here. This is certainly one of the most premium neighborhoods in Etobicoke. So if you're looking for privacy and space in an exclusive neighborhood, Princess Anne Manor is one you should definitely consider. So that's it for this week, guys. If you're interested in learning more about any of these homes, or you would like to chat about real estate, you can schedule a call with me through the Calendly link below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.